right, welcome to Fast Break Breakfast, NBA podcast. My name is Keith Parrish. I've got Sean Keane coming up in a couple of minutes. First of all, apologies for the missed episode earlier in the week. We had some scheduling conflicts. John got, I believe, a rotavirus, and I am very busy with my other job, which, if you don't know, is being a musical theater accompanist for a middle school. Yes, the job is hilarious at times, absolutely. Unfortunately, it also is going to cause me to miss most of Friday night's huge Nuggets-Grizzlies showdown. I won't be able to watch that live. The Nuggets have basically locked up the 1 seed, but they would put a stake in the heart of the Grizzlies if they win this game. That would put them up 6 games in the standings, plus give them a tiebreaker. So that's essentially a 7-game lead. In other much closer races in the standings and in the races for playoff seeding, the Lakers had a very big victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Lakers won that game despite Anthony Davis and LeBron James not playing. It was a massive victory for their hopes to make the postseason. Of course, the Thunder did not have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's in health and safety protocols, also has a sore abdomen, which was causing him to miss games before then. All of these injuries with the Thunder, including Kenrich Williams out for the year, they're legitimate, right? Of course, conspiracy theorists are raising their eyebrows. Like, is Shai really going to murder fantasy basketball managers for the 3rd straight season? Of course, losing 5 straight games for the Thunder has gotten them up to a 32% chance at a top 4 pick if the season were to end today, or a 7.5% chance at Wemby. Continues to be something to monitor. Which direction shall they push? The 2.5 games towards a play-in, or the, keep losing and increasing those lottery odds? But the Lakers win. It got them now within a game of the Pelicans for 10th place. The Pelicans managed to win a big game against the Blazers. The Blazers losing dropped them a half game behind the Lakers. It's also close. It's absolutely incredible. That's some of the stuff I talk about with Sean Keane on this episode, although we mainly focus on a little bit higher in the standings. We talk about the Clippers a lot, and the Mavericks and the Warriors, and the effects of the buyout market a week or two after all those things went down. Anyways, if you're in the Memphis area, if you don't know, you should know. You can get big-time game day deals with buzzer beaters. Sign up for buzzer beaters from the Grizzlies by texting buzzer beater to 833-550-0028. Text 833-550-0028 to opt in for discounts to your next home game today. Get tickets, get hyped, and get big savings with buzzer beaters. Visit grizzlies.com/buzzerbeater for more information. Anyways, now let's talk with Sean Keane. I'm joined right now by Sean Keane, good buddy from the Very Funny Roundball Rock podcast. Sean, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
glad you got the memo to wear a black t-shirt.
Thank you.
We wear black t-shirts. It looks better that way, honestly. So when I put it on YouTube, I can put like your little Twitter handle in front of your shirt.
Oh, perfect.
And it can be seen clearly. Sometimes John wears a flamboyant, bright shirt. I'm like, I got to put this under. Yeah, no one can see.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, so those are the problems of video podcasts. A little early on the West Coast, Sean. We start the show, of course, with our breakfast. Have you had a chance to have breakfast on this fine Friday?
I'm on my 2nd cup of coffee, and I ate a banana knowing I was going to have this conversation. I would have eaten the banana at some point, but maybe not before 8 a.m.
Are you a daily banana man?
I've become one. I'm not really that much of a cereal person.
Sure.
But now I'm trying to just eat more. I eat like an apple and a banana in the morning usually. I mean, that's not the only thing I'll eat to keep the doctor away. I'm terrified of doctors and medical professionals. So
you should be.
Yeah, I mean, you ever heard of H.H. Holmes?
Wait, I haven't.
Oh, well, he's a serial killer from Chicago. But he was a doctor.
Wow. That reference.
He had like a murder mansion.
I don't like murders, Sean. That's one of my positions. And like the whole serial killer craze, not into it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's a TV show about not watching that. Here's a podcast about people getting nope. Why would I? Yeah, I don't know. I used to. I mean, I feel like I was just a normal boy obsessed with murder and death. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm out.
Well, I had like a phase when I was a kid when I would read about it a lot.
Yeah.
And then my dad had a coworker who had escaped a serial killer. And he'd been like stabbed in the throat, but he survived.
What?
And after that, I was like, wait,
your dad's friend met the Zodiac?
The trailside killer.
Oh my goodness.
And his girlfriend was murdered. And after that, I was like, I'm kind of out on these.
Yeah.
Now.
So like this part of the podcast right now, Sean, I hate it.
I was like, yeah, I guess I'm not going to ever read these books or talk about them again.
I mean, I don't know if it's even healthy.
Nice coworker.
Like beyond like America's obsession with murder entertainment, or just worldwide murder entertainment. I don't even like just current events, reality. Like, I mean, a lot of it's sensationalized. Like every now and then there'll be like the ABC Saturday night NBA game. And so I'm watching network TV. And then when the game ends and I don't turn my TV off, the local news starts.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh my God. Like every first story, it's like, this whatever. This teenager was murdered. You're like, what?
Where? How?
Yeah. Well, here's the even worse part. So I pay for cable, and I have Xfinity cable, one of the largest cable providers in the country.
Yeah.
When I type in the channel for NBA games, so I want to watch TNT, it's 1404.
Okay.
I type in 14, and it goes into this search bar. And until you complete the 4 digits, it just does like a news search of like video clips they have. And when I type in 1404, the first result is 14-year-old murdered.
Oh God.
Like every time I type in, if I want to watch the Grizzlies play on local TV, which on my Xfinity gets 1251, it's like 12. It's like 12-year-old abducted from Kingsport. Yeah. And it's like those are the things. I'm just trying to type in. Like the sports channels. I want to live in a sports bubble, Sean. I feel like it doesn't seem like it's so much to ask. Blessed, comfortable life where I can live in a bubble. I can live in a safety bubble. And that's all I want. I don't want to face the horrors of the world, but I'm just trying to type in. It's not even when they show me like some horrifying movie commercial when I'm watching the dunk contest. I just want to type in the local regional sports channel without telling me about a tween getting abducted.
Yeah, I mean, are you supposed to pitch in? Are they looking for like a search party or a posse? No,
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what the link is for. Is this going to take me to like WashingtonPost.com? Is this going to take me to a pre-recorded news segment supplied by ABC News? Like, I have no way. I'm not clicking the link.
Is it a snuff film? Like
yeah,
I'm not clicking it.
But it's still like, I just want to watch I don't know. Am I supposed to just use my voice activation? Am I just supposed to want to turn on my TV, be like Alexa, sports?
Yeah.
Like, will that fix it for me? Because I haven't hooked my Alexa up. I've had one for 10 years.
I feel like you would also possibly run into horror just by saying, "Show me Grizzlies." Then
yeah. It's not only is it a hard word to say, it has a homonym, which is horrifying.
Yeah.
Another grisly performance. Well, Sean, let's talk about some basketball. You conveniently went to this Clippers Mavericks. The Clippers Warriors game? Is this right?
I did, yeah.
On Thursday night. What were the vibes takes? I need you to go Bill Simmons body language in the building. What's your body language report for Clippers Warriors?
Well, so the Warriors have been really kind of junking it up on defense recently. And I think players are just less used to seeing this before the playoffs. Like in the playoffs, people do like weird, ridiculous stuff. But the Warriors ran a box and one on Dame Lillard and really flustered him on Tuesday.
Oh, nice.
And then last night, they were playing comically far off Russell Westbrook. Like he would catch the ball at the 3-point line, and his defender, who was not close to him, would then like back off 2 steps. And it was clearly sort of psychological as well. And not like Westbrook needs an excuse to kind of turn the ball over a lot and miss a lot of shots, but it definitely got in his head, and he started playing even more erratically on defense as well.
Well, it's weird in today's modern NBA when you're a good team and you elect to start two players who you don't have to guard. Where they're starting Mason Plumlee and Russell Westbrook. And like this is back from me playing NBA Live in the late 90s. Last century, I would whatever, when I'm on defense, I'd pick my best defensive player, and then I would go into the settings and choose the matchups and always match him up on like the worst offensive player. So then I could just roam, just be free safety. And that's what Draymond was doing against Russell Westbrook. I was confused. I'm confused about the defensive 3-second rules. Like, as long as Russell Westbrook has the ball, you can back all the way up into the paint and just be like, I'm guarding him. So it's okay.
I think you just have to step out of it. Like one,
was he stepping? Was he even stepping out of it? Okay, so maybe
maybe
I didn't know if it was a thing where he's like, listen, I can be, as long as my guy has the ball, and I'm like, referee, I'm pointing at this guy, he's mine. And then of course there's the leeway. Once he passes it, you still have 3 seconds to get out of the lane. So I don't maybe it's a gray area. But the Clippers,
they're a bummer. I mean,
they are a bummer
for a team that's supposedly serious about a championship. They're starting 3 guys who were not on the team more than 2 weeks ago, and I kept saying they got like, I thought it was 3 buyout guys, and then I remembered no, they actually traded for Plumlee and Gordon.
They did.
Eric Gordon just has like the body language and just the body of a buyout guy at this point. Like, I think maybe Eric Gordon at his peak would have helped this team. But we like with Eric Gordon, it wasn't like this was an all-star to begin with, and he just hasn't played for 3 years.
I don't understand the logic of bringing in these new guys and being like, hey, Terrence Mann and Norm Powell, you guys have been pretty solid. You're playing behind these new guys.
Yeah.
Like, is it all like a politics with the locker room thing? I mean, it's strange because we always thought of this Clippers team as being super deep. Like preseason, everyone talking about this team like, oh, too many bodies, way too many bodies. Like, I mean, now it's like Robert Covington. I mean, maybe Robert Covington is just done. Maybe he's just not good enough anymore.
They've
like,
got
Robert
a lot of names. Doesn't play.
But like, Batum is one of their better options. It feels like he's a guy who doesn't need the ball. He defends. He can knock down an open 3-pointer. He passes pretty well. They're like, no, we don't want Batum in the starting lineup. We want the guy we traded for. I mean, we also traded a vibes guy. We traded away Reggie Jackson, who, despite he's had some rough moments this year, very, very poor moments this year, but apparently, by all accounts, a very, very pleasant guy to be around. They traded their vibes guy away to the Nuggets. By the way, Reggie Jackson on the Nuggets so far has amassed as many assists this season on the Nuggets in 5 games as Bones Highland had on the Nuggets this year.
That I had not seen Bones Highland in person until last night, and at one point he had 5 fouls in 5.5 minutes, and it could have been more.
I have tape, or check the tape. As someone who dallies in Nuggets fandom, like months ago, I was like, Bones Highland has a cool name. I do not like watching him play basketball. Like he does not have it. Like, he didn't have it for me. And so now he thought he's getting a fresh start, going to the Clippers, super excited, hasn't gone well. Mason Plumlee's like, oh my God, I get out of Charlotte. This is gonna be awesome. Yeah. It hasn't worked out. Eric Gordon, I finally freed. I have this albatross of being on the Rockets finally off. I got dealt. The Grizzlies helped me get to this team by swapping Danny Green in a 3-way deal, and it hasn't worked out. And of course, Russell Westbrook is winless on the Clippers. He's averaging 30. Russell Westbrook is averaging 30 minutes a game on the Clippers. Has yet to post a positive plus minus.
It doesn't make any sense because they also sort of don't need a point guard, especially like they let Paul George and Kawhi Leonard bring up the ball a lot, and they have all these guys who are point guard-ish,
but not actually the point guard-ish.
Not the actual ish.
Not the proper noun, point guard-ish.
Yeah. It was definitely. They definitely seem like they have more talent than the Curry-less Golden State Warriors for sure. And I mean, that third quarter, they got beat by 20 plus points, something like that.
They got doubled up in the second half. It was 70 to 35. 70 to 35 in the second half.
It was very exciting in the arena, but in the fourth quarter, I think everyone was bracing for, okay, this is going to be the bench. Like, the Warriors are playing two-way guys, heavy minutes. Like, this is a name laden. Like, the Clippers roster is full of potential 2017 All-Stars, basically. And then they just didn't have it. Paul George was pretty bad, but I think he was just sort of a cold shooter, but it does feel like Westbrook is like
an energy vampire.
It was mean that they called him a vampire. They called him a
vampire, but he's an energy vampire. He's life force.
Even Zubac looked depressed in street clothes on the bench.
Well, so Zubac didn't play, which of course it's like much like the Grizzlies. Should you be depending that much on Steven Adams? Like maybe the Clippers really need Zubac in there. I'm still just perplexed. Like, you have Kawhi Leonard, who is averaging 37 minutes a game in like the past. It's like basically 2 months. And beyond that, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's been really good.
He's like 53% from the field since January 1st, averaging 29 points per game. And it seems like just fill in the role players. Just fill in role player, and you have them. You have Terrence Mann, you have Nick Batum, and you have Covington. Like, just fill in the role players. Why are Eric Gordon and Robert Why are you giving your season to Eric Gordon and Russell Westbrook?
It is wild. And it makes me think that supposedly Kawhi determines his own minutes. Like, he was subbing himself in and out of games earlier this year.
Oh my God,
and apparently Paul George is the assistant GM because he pushed hard for Westbrook. And I mean, someone pushed hard for Eric Gordon. And I don't feel like it was Tyronn Lue.
I do not mind Eric Gordon on this team. I think he's going to be a fine option. Maybe Norm Powell prefers to be that sixth man guy, but like Norm Powell is better than Eric Gordon. Just period.
At everything. Yes.
At everything. Maybe not guarding fours. Like, Eric Gordon does have that stoutness now where he can maybe level up, size up on defense. But like, I understand Eric Gordon being out there, but like the combination of Gordon and Westbrook, and then also like the non-shooting Plumlee, you're just making it hard on yourself. I mean, maybe we're overreacting because these 4 losses since the Clippers got Westbrook are against legitimate opponents. I mean, you lose at the Warriors, you lose at the Nuggets. Okay, people don't win in those places. Then you dropped home games to the Kings. All right, that's not great, but it was
the
best game
of
all time.
Yeah.
It was the second highest scoring game ever. Also, they blew that game like 5 times.
Yeah, they really did.
I definitely watched the 10-minute recap because I can't stay up that late. Like, even in the 10-minute recap, I'm like, oh wow, they're up 11 again. And then they kept blowing the game. But like, so you lose to the Kings in a historic game by 1, and then you lose at home to the Timberwolves, which can happen. Like, they're not embarrassing. So you've lost to like 4 okay opponents. So I don't think they're going to be like this nightmarishly bad. But if you say the vibes are bad, and from the outward appearance, it seems rough. And then of course, just like the way the Western Conference standings are so cramped together, it's incredible where every loss like moves you up 2 or 3, moves you down 2 spots. Every win moves you up 2 spots. It's I guess it causes the overreactions.
I mean, it's wild. It's funny too, because I've witnessed Mason Plumlee put up crazy stat lines in a couple of games, and in every single one of them, his team got killed. Like back when he was on the Nets, he threw down some of the best in-game big man dunks I'd ever seen, and the Clippers beat the Nets by like 40 in that game.
I wonder.
And I think he had 20 rebounds last night, and
nuts.
All of them were just like a result of playing with Russell Westbrook. Though.
Well, I just saw. Speaking of wasted big man, huge stat lines. I watched some of this game while I was in a play. I was playing piano in a play, but I had a phone. But I watched some of this Raptors Wizards game. The Raptors blew a game. I'm only saying blew, like they were down the whole game. I'm saying they wasted a Jakob Poeltl performance. Jakob, 8 of 9 from the field. He does that. He was also 7 for 7 from the line. They blew 7 for 7 from the line. Jakob Pertl game. By the way, fun with single game plus minus in that Raptors Wizards game. Fred VanVleet played 40 minutes and was plus 15. They lost by 11.
That is crazy. It is.
That's like impossible.
It is wild how bad that bench is. It's like I can't tell if Nick Nurse is like the new Tom Thibodeau.
They hate him.
He seems like
him.
He seems like the biggest fraud. But he plays. I think Siakam and Van Vliet are like 1 and 3 in minutes per game. And then OG Anunoby's top 20 and Scotty Barnes is like 21st or something. And it's just an insane way to have your basketball team. Like at a certain point, you just have to play a bench guy. And if it doesn't work, it's like, well, we're just not good enough. We can't just run these guys into the ground. Like it's they're
what else can they do?
Them, like, playoff minutes to get the 9 seed.
If you play,
I guess if you're negative
15, if you lose the non Van Vliet minutes by 26, then
that's
by
insane.
8 minutes by 26. I mean, honestly, and the funny part is to the eye test, Van Vliet, garbage.
Yeah, he doesn't look great. He was exhausted too.
I'm just like that game he was rough. But let's go back to the Warriors game because you're a Warriors fan.
I am
the
a Warriors
fan, win this game. The Warriors are rounding into shape, and everyone's like, "Oh man, it's incredible! The Warriors are winning a bunch of games without Steph Curry. Steph Curry's going to return on Sunday without Andrew Wiggins. Are they rounding into shape, or are they, Sean, merely playing home games?
That is
because they're 26 and 7 at home and 7 and 23 on the road.
Well, that's kind of what happened the last time Steph Curry was out, where they were remarkably treading water, and it's because they were playing like 8 home games in December and January, basically. And they still blew 2 of them at the end to I want to say the Pistons and the Magic. Somehow the Warriors are I believe they're winless against Detroit, Orlando, and possibly Indiana.
Checks out.
Not some great teams, but let's see what they do on the road, because they're going to be playing in Los Angeles to a LeBron-less Laker team that might also not have D'Angelo Russell, and Steph Curry is apparently coming back, but they are on the road, which means they should be not a favorite.
Yeah, they've won 4 straight. They've had 4 straight home games.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I personally have been abused by the Warriors as a Grizzlies fan, and so I'm like mortified, terrified of this Warriors team, especially as I see them like, in that like 4-5 zone in the Western Conference seeding. And I'm like, just stay there, just stay on that side, stay on that Nugget side of the bracket. I want to avoid the Warriors and Nuggets no matter what.
I've become convinced that they're going to end up playing a 4-5 series against the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, you think
dude, the ultimate like big brother, little brother series, which used to just be,
that would be a dream.
Two bullied brothers taking out their misery on others. Yeah.
Oh, I like that bar you just dropped. Beautiful rhyme, Sean. I don't know if the Suns could catch the Kings. The Kings haven't been injured basically all year. They're a nice, solid team. In my mind, they're like a 44, 43, 45 win team around there that just has feasted on the fact that their starting lineup basically has played the entire year. Of course, I think De'Aaron Fox is about to miss a game, but the Kings are just rolling along. I desperately, again, as a Grizzlies fan, hope they hold on to that 3 seed. And I mean, like a Suns Warriors 4-5, get one of those knocked out in the first round.
Oh my God.
That's a dream for, everyone, for the Nuggets, for the Grizzlies. I do wonder if the Kings hold on to that 3 seed. Do you think the Warriors, are they going to angle for the 6? Does everyone want to drop down?
I mean, I would think, except they just don't do that. They have not, they, in general, well, I thought they would want to, I thought they would maybe want to drop down last year when it was them or the Mavs getting the 3 seed, basically.
Yeah.
And I thought that that path where they got to play, I can't remember who the 5 was last year, but it was somebody not scary, basically. Right. Maybe it felt like a much easier matchup.
I immediately forget about every season the second it's over. So
yeah,
I can't help you there. I guess I'll look it up for you.
Sorry. I should know this because I remember thinking like, oh, this is a much better idea to play.
I'm trying to think. It would be the Jazz or Jazz.
The Jazz. It was the Jazz that who the Warriors just. Rudy Gobert is a bad matchup against the Warriors. So and they didn't. They pushed for the 3 seed instead. I was terrified of the Grizzlies and still am terrified of the Grizzlies. So
well, I mean, no one will ever tell the true history of that series that Desmond Bane was hospitalized for a back issue. Like no one ever talks about it. Like, he shot 8 times a game, guys. Like he didn't shoot the basketball. Steven Adams was out for COVID. Missed games, of course. Jordan Poole destroyed John Morant's knee on a
That's true. That's true.
Plucking a rarely seen plucking of the knee ligaments and tendon. Played it like a stand-up bass. I've been saying it for months.
It was crazy. It was
crazy. If you were in the arena,
Man.
you could hear it. A bong. It was just like you could hear it vibrating. No, the Grizzlies weren't healthy, and yet we're ahead in the final 2 minutes of 3 of their 4 losses, I believe was the final, or maybe it was 2. They were ahead in the fourth quarter of 3 of the 4 losses in the final 2 minutes of 2 of the 4 losses.
And then in one game, they were ahead by like 45 in the fourth quarter.
Right. So, right. The teams traded pantsings where they got absolutely rocked. No, I thought the Grizzlies were a fine matchup with the Warriors last year. Of course, then Wiggins and Looney took over and won that series, and
Looney was Plumlee like on the boards, and
he truly was.
My girlfriend announced that Kevon Looney was her new favorite Warrior last night.
Why is that? And just because of the effort?
Yeah, she said she really likes his vibes and that he seems so friendly, and she likes that he does like she's not really like a huge basketball fan.
Sure.
But I force her into a lot of stuff. She likes that he's getting rebounds and is like we were kind of near the Warrior side of the basket when they were warming up, and hilariously Kevon Looney just does like a Mikan drill. Basically he does not shoot outside the paint even in warm-ups, where you see like all the big men are out at the
practice
three-point
what
line
you do
shooting,
man. You're
like,
making me like Looney even more.
He's just like bank shot, tipping it in to myself.
That's like my wife. She back in the day, we're talking way back in the day, her favorite Vibes Grizzlies player was Chucky Atkins. He did something where she's like, that guy hustles more than everybody. And my take on NBA player hustling and effort is basically everyone is trying as hard as they can. Like there's a handful of plays like Dennis Schroeder turns the ball over and stands still and does nothing, but in a general sense, everyone's trying as hard.
They're all going pretty hard.
When people are like, man, we got outworked in the second half, you're like, well, we lost. But outwork, everyone is trying as hard as they can. These are the best players in the world. They're very, very competitive. No, let's I was thinking of this. Another player that my wife and I both really like is Jared Allen. My wife likes him for purely aesthetic, physical appearance reasons.
Okay.
I also, honestly, it's a shared crush. I think he looks great. I like the hair. But now I've started watching his post-game interviews, and the man is hilarious. And it seems so likable. And he had the great line about, like, they were like, hey man, did you know when did you know that Kevin Love was getting bought out? He's like, they just told us he was going out for milk and cigarettes. Never saw him again. Did Sean, as a comedian, does he have a writer?
No, I think he's really funny.
He's just really funny.
I mean, he was really funny as a young net. He was like very charming.
He's just hilarious.
And not in a there are some guys that are a little more performative like that. Like Embiid tries very hard for his jokes. Jared Allen just seems honestly like an eccentric, thoughtful guy. Yeah.
By the way, that's another buyout. Kevin Love going to the Heat. The Heat aren't.
And they started him right away.
Yeah,
and
maybe doing the buyout market. Maybe when a guy's not playing on a good team, and you think yourself are a good team, maybe don't start the guy who wasn't starting for the other good team. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the Bucks are gonna add Goran Dragic too.
That'll probably help.
And it's a weird, but they just kind of do that every year. They have some veteran guard.
I think they're just saving on moving expenses since Chicago and Milwaukee are so close.
Right. Well, and
geographically very, very close.
They like add and drop George Hill every season. But yeah, it's like Jeff Teague, Javon Carter. Once a year, they add like a veteran point guard in February just in case. And then sometimes he ends up playing like 15 minutes a game in the playoffs.
Maybe the Bucks have so many luxury tax payments that they were like, is there any player we can get that doesn't even have to move?
Yeah.
And Goran Dragic is like, man, I'll commute.
Yeah, I'm not going to break this lease.
Yeah. I can drive. It's not that far. A couple hours with traffic. Yeah.
Send a video coordinator to pick it up.
Let's wrap up with some talk about the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
A team that is intriguing, but they've been up and down since they got Kyrie. They beat the 76ers. I believe they made a franchise record 25 3-pointers. They did make 25 3-pointers. Whether or not that's a franchise record, not my business. But Kyrie and Luka Doncic both go for 40. What's your take of the Mavericks, and how do you think they stack up in the West? Are they a team that concerns you specifically as a Warriors fan?
Yeah, I mean, I think every team should be worried about them because they're not really like a title contender, but they're a team that could win any individual series because, I mean,
it kind of sounds like a title contender, but that's just semantics, I guess.
I know that's weird to say.
Well, you're not going to flip heads 4 straight times, probably.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
There we go.
But yeah, I guess it's more like I don't think they would be favored in any series, but I would never be surprised with them winning a game. It's just very tough, I think, in the playoffs in particular, to rely on 2 of your guys combining for 70 points. That being said, Kyrie Irving has done that in the playoffs a couple of times. So, I mean, they are legitimately, I think Kyrie is the best isolation scorer in the NBA this year, and Luka's not far off.
Yeah.
And so it's weird because no one is even really guaranteeing that this is going to be like a long-term partnership too. Like Kyrie's not going to get extended. I think they're probably going to max him out in the offseason just because I
don't know how you wouldn't. I mean, and he's going to be on good. You assume, I mean, maybe this will be wrong. You assume he's going to be on his best behavior all year. And if he's good in the playoffs, you just got to max him out.
Yeah. And I can't see them trading him to the Lakers after this, but which is the other place he would want to go. But yeah, it's weird because their defense is really bad, just fantastically terrible, and probably that offense becomes a little more stoppable when a team just has a chance to game plan against them for a week and a half. But at the same time, there's with each of those guys, there's a certain amount of like limitations to what you can do. You know what I mean? Like you can do a lot of schemes against Kyrie Irving, but he is a crazy dribbler, and when he gets hot, he just makes shots from 30 feet away, you know?
So I kind of think the Mavericks might have like a extremely high ceiling, like absolutely incredible ceiling. And some of this is probably too influenced by them whipping up on the Sixers. The Sixers were on the second night of a back-to-back. By the way, the Sixers on the second night of a back-to-back, coming off a 20-point win, are like, now's the time where we should probably move Melton back to the bench. Like winning by 20, nah.
Yeah.
Let's switch it up. And so like when the Sixers lose, when Melton doesn't start, not my problem. But
it is actually one of my favorite things in the world when the Sixers lose in a disappointing way like they did today, because people in Philly do not hold back on their and again, they had a dominant win Wednesday night.
They've been great.
And there were people just saying like just
the Mavericks made 25 threes.
Yeah.
They got it by 25. I mean, and even the Sixers made it like exciting and close at the end.
And Philly fans were just like, disband the team, take the franchise away.
By the way,
trade Embiid to a legitimate team.
PJ Tucker was a -30 in this one.
There was a point in the third quarter where I think he had not put up any stats at all.
Yeah, except for that huge negative plus minus. But no, I think the Mavericks might be terrifying because they're doing what I wish the Clippers would do. They just have dudes. They just put complementary pieces all around the Mavericks. And I think that they made a needed adjustment for this specific game. Like I believe the previous 2 games, they had started Justin Holiday which I was like, this is
another buyout guy.
This is another buyout guy. Where it's like, hey, Josh Green's coming on great, young, athletic, 3-point shooter, plays defense, very efficient scorer. What about this guy though we picked up who wasn't playing on the Hawks?
Right.
Yeah, and again, I am a huge Justin Holiday fan, and he comes out and buries a bunch of threes his first game of the Mavericks, and they're like, hey, let's start him. Like, why? Yeah. But I think the Mavericks ceiling is extremely high because of that individual scoring of Doncic and Kyrie, and then just the collection of dudes. Maxi Kleber, the Dwight Powell for the front court, Christian
Hardaway Jr.
just to fill in, and then again, guys who don't need the ball, Reggie Bullock, who we know makes his 3-pointers after the first 2 months of the season. Once the first
he's terrible in November.
He makes them
and then he's fine. Yeah.
I think there's a chance if they don't absolutely hate Jason Kidd by now, which they might. That's like the one drawback to my enthusiasm is that it seems like Jason Kidd is saying all the wrong things in every press conference. And so maybe they're just done with them. I do think this team, which was really good at defense last year, if they found any of that again, and once they get totally healthy with Powell and Kleber and I think they might be awesome. Like if you have the option of playing Justin Holiday or not playing Justin Holiday, like I think they could actually be legit. So like they definitely kind of scare me.
I think Kleber coming back is a really big deal. And yeah, they don't really have to be a great defense. They just can't be the worst defense.
Right.
So if they're like the 20th best defense in the NBA, the team's very scary.
Yeah. Well, Sean, I appreciate your time. And it's always fun talking basketball with you. You guys out there, if you don't listen to the Round Ball Rock podcast, please do that. Anyway, Sean, thanks again. And I look forward to the next time.
Thanks, Keith.